Is joining us here. Fred, good to see you. Let's talk about some of the indications here, though. We've seen a real battle in the New York 23rd. Maybe we're making too much of it, but it is a great example of the battle lines between the conservative Republicans and conservatives and mainstream Republicans in an upstate New York district. What mistake is the party making, if at all, in having this kind of battle?
I don't think it is a battle between mainstream and conservative. I don't think they made a mistake. Look, New York has a very arcane way of picking their nominees. They don't even have a convention. They sit in the room and the party bosses pick it. When you open up the market to all candidates who can come forth and express their ideas and for the future and their qualifications, you have a fairer system, and that's exactly what this is. We have an open system. That's what we Republicans believe in, and that's how Huffman is prevailing.
But Tim Pawlenty on Morning Joe today was basically saying that Olympia Snowe may be too liberal for the Republican Party. If Republicans start excluding a main Republican, Olympia Snowe, aren't you asking for trouble if you are so narrowing the tent? Peter King earlier in this hour had difficulty, defending what Didi Scazafava had done in the past.
Listen, I totally disagree with anybody who would try to exclude Olympia Snowe from the party. I think she is a terrific senator. Now, she may be a little bit to the left of the mainstream of Republicans, but as Haley Barbour said this morning also, he said that Olympia Snowe is certainly the most conservative member of the main delegation. And I think if we're going to have a big party, if we're going to get elected, if we're going to be a national party and ever win a presidential election, we have to embrace Olympia Snowe and we have to embrace Sarah Palin. We have to cover the spectrum. We are a Big Ten party.
Now, I know you know Sarah Palin well. This is her quote from Facebook back on October 22nd. Quote, "Republicans and conservatives around the country are sending an important message to the Republican establishment in their outstanding grassroots support for Doug Hoffman. No more politics as usual." Are you the Republican establishment?
I don't think I'm the Republican establishment.
Well, I mean, Sarah Palin is basically trying to define the party in one direction. You're to be a bigger tent.
No, we're both saying the same thing. Let's open this up to a democratic process. Let's have primary elections. What could be more democratic than somebody coming up from the grassroots and saying, look, I don't like the party bosses in smoke-filled rooms picking the candidate. I'm going to stand up and be counted too.
I thought Ronald Reagan said the 11th commandment was not to have primaries, not to have Republican against Republican.
Oh, no.
And not to endorse a primary candidate not to endorse one or another candidate during the party, but the whole method of the Republican Party has always been not to encourage that kind of.
But don't you really think though that this is a victory for a democratic process rather than ruled by the party bosses? Don't you think it's a victory for sunlight and daylight versus a smoke-filled room? That's what I think it is, and I think it's a great demonstration of democracy in action, and it's a testimony to the fact that if you put up good candidates with good ideas, they're going to get nominated and they're going to get elected, just as we are in Virginia today.
Let me just play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Is the message, though, a warning that conservatives will challenge a governor, Charlie Crist, let's say next year, that more moderate Republicans face the action from conservatives, from the Sarah Palins and others who have a great following and have learned how to use social networking, and that they can be overturned, that they can be undermined?
But that's what a primary is to do. The primary is to pit candidates against one another, and the voters select the one that has the best ideas for the future and the best qualifications to be. And that's what we are for as Republicans.
I hope you'll come back and we'll sort through some of the results.
Thanks, Andrea.
Fred Malek, thank you very much.